Okay, we're rejoining Sea of Solitude right here at the beginning of Chapter 3. For those of you who did not watch my previous video, which you should, this is a game about exploring the psyche of a very sort of lonely and isolated person who is depressed, miserable, very self-critical, and her demons are personified by these monsters. Oh, actually, I think I should swap this up so I'm actually looking into the right camera while a giant raven beast crawls over a bridge.
It looks so sad.
Really, that's what you got out of that? Not it looks so frightening and monstrous, but it looks so sad? You are so compassionate. You do not deserve to be as miserable as you are. You are such a nice person. Oh, what? Oh. Okay. Historically, I've been able to swim in this game. So I need to rearrange my screen. I just realized actually that I forgot to update my stream information and everything, so it still looks like I'm playing Griftlands right now. That's just silliness. So we're gonna say Sea of Solitude. Sea of Solitude. Boom, boom, boom. I'm only changing it on Twitch because nobody really cares what game I'm playing on YouTube. And we're back. Okay, so apparently this is not water. This is some kind of toxic sludge, I guess. So I need to do something else. Can I... Okay, I can go this way, I guess. I was actually, pretty impressed that the previous levels... Oh, who are these people? Ah! What? No. No. I do not want sludge hands, thank you. Oh, there's so many people. They're watching me. Anyway, I was pretty impressed actually at how open the other game was. The other chapter was, because I could swim around in the water, and that makes the world feel really open and free. Now, there were monsters in the water, and if I went too far off track, they still would have murdered me. But it still made me feel very free.
Well, look who's here. Oh, God.
All right. Somehow the crowds of hecklers, the crowds of hecklers are scarier to me than the monsters. Maybe that's because of my own personal demons. I'm way more afraid of hecklers than I am of monsters. They're saying terrible things to me.
What did we do to you? Being ugly really does run in your family.
Okay.
You're both just a waste of space.
You're both? Do they mean me and my bright friend?
Let me help.
Yes. Get these worms of corruption into my backpack where they belong. Again, I do love that we're not destroying the corruption. We're just absorbing it, but it's sticking around with us. I think someone in my previous video referred to it as having baggage.
I'm so happy you're walking into school, Kay. I've been feeling a bit, I don't know, weird lately.
That's great, Sunny.
Hey, are you even listening to me?
Huh? Sorry, was texting my boyfriend. Oh, he's calling me. I've gotta go. Have fun with your friends, yeah?
No, wait. Okay, bye.
Right, so for those of you who didn't watch the previous video, Sunny is my brother. That we've been getting sort of little flashback audio of my my life prior to arriving in this nightmare world. And at some point,
Singing? Oh my God, you sound like a girl.
Do I?
I'm just kidding. Oh, come on. Can't you take a joke?
No, I mean, yes, I can.
oh, that poor kid. I definitely sympathize with the experience of feeling like a pariah in elementary school. And it sounds like this girl's demons, it's going to somehow have something to do with her having not been compassionate enough to her brother. Okay, so what does that mean? Can I fight? What do I do? I don't... Is this... Can I just run past this guy? No, I can't. This feels like the kind of... Whoa. The kind of obstacle you would face in a nightmare.
Wow. Aren't ugly badger until outdated?
Oh, look at this. Okay. That was bad water.
Your papa is such a weirdo.
What?
Okay, so I've got my flare ability. Does not help me in
Yeah.
combat.
I guess.
I'm pushing
Cloud. We're just joking.
all the other buttons.
Dad,
They don't seem to do anything. Do I have a way to, like, maybe tempt this guy out? So I can run around him? Okay. Can I do the same to these guys? There's a lot of them. No! No.
Hey guys, look! I think I can get this pencil stuck in Sonny's hair.
Don't! Ow, that hurts!
I want to go. What's wrong with you? We're just teasing.
Ah.
Now hold still.
Okay,
Sorry.
come here.
Oh, sorry.
Come here. Whoa! Okay, wow. So, this game keeps introducing different enemies, but fighting them is never the option. And you have to figure out how to deal with them without having the power to fight them. Which is great for a game that's meant to be... I don't want to say horror. This doesn't strike me as like a horror game the way that like games that try to shock and disgust you.
I'm not. I wanted to...
Wow. Is that how you treat your mates?
No wonder we are only friends.
Sunny. I didn't know it was this bad.
Oh, whoa. So my flare does actually affect these guys. But my flare only goes towards... It only goes towards my objective, so I can't really use it as a weapon effectively. Oh, wait, no! The flare is turning on the light. Can I get them? Can I tempt them into the light? Ah! Yes, I can tempt them into the light. Okay, cool. You guys want to come into the light? I got one of them. No, actually, you know what? I might not have to destroy all of them. I might be able to just get by. Oh, yeah. As long as I get rid of enough of them, I can get by.
Look at him. He even walks like a girl.
What? I'm just walking normally.
Oh, look at me. I'm Sunny. I look like this normally. Hey! Oh, no, did I trick you? Sunny's gonna cry.
No, I'm not.
So,
I need to go.
this
Sorry's such a wuss.
this bully dialogue is so well done. I mean, just the frustration of being in a situation where someone has just decided arbitrarily that there's something that's true about you and that it's embarrassing. And it could be like you have done nothing wrong. But they've just decided, this thing about you is embarrassing. And they just highlight it to everyone else and everyone's laughing. You're like, I don't know what to do. The feeling of helplessness you get in a situation like that. They really nailed that experience. Kind of to a horrific degree. And yeah, this game, it's not horror the way that you imagine.
Sunny! Come out, mate. We just want to hang out.
The way you use... Oh, I don't want to talk during these guys. Anyway, I don't think of this as horror the way that like games that are always trying to like shock and disgust you are horror. This is different from that, but it's definitely sort of tapping into a lot of sort of sympathy that I have for like some of the worst experiences of my life. Like it's definitely tapping into unpleasant emotions very effectively, even though it's not tapping into the same ones that you get from other horror type games. So Jedi Sectric says, look at how her idle animation shakes. Has she always been shaking like that? I don't think so. I think she shakes like that contextually, like if she's in a scary place. We can keep an eye out for that in the future, but I think that's the case. Okay, so I'm assuming... Okay, so the flickering light is there to show me where my flare is going to light things up. Timing, like it always feels like I'm timing this so delicately, but at the same time I haven't failed yet. So I think it's actually easier to get this right than it looks. Because like each time I do this, I'm like, oh, I'm going to totally get nailed before I fire this off, and it keeps going well. It keeps going better than I think I can make it go. Which I think says something really nice. Oh.
We catch you, we'll kill you. Just kidding.
I think that says something really nice about their moment-to-moment game design. That they've basically figured out ways to, you know, they've timed the enemy's movements and how long it takes you to fire off your flare and how easy it is to predict where the flare is going to go and where the enemies are going to go. They've done a really good job of setting all those pieces up so that even though it looks really intimidating, it's actually not that hard to make it go right. Because I imagine there's a version of this where it's extremely frustrating to get these guys into the light and eliminate them. In fact, I assume there was probably an early version of this game where that was really hard. It helps that I can take one hit from them, kind of no problem, and then most of them will not attack me in between, and then I can recover from that hit. It's interesting that I'm having horrific memories not of my bullies, but of my brother's bullies. Oh. Didn't quite do it at the right time. Oh, come on! You guys, you stop it. You need to come over here. Come here. Oh, gosh. Okay, not like that. Okay, hold on. Let's recharge for a second. Josh Annley says, it's not psychological horror, but it is psychological. And Andres is like, it's not jump scare horror. And yeah, exactly. So like, I cannot enjoy jump scare horror. It affects me too much. It's entirely unpleasant for me. It's not a fun thrill like a roller coaster. It's just unpleasant. I was kind of haunted by nightmares as a kid, and so it brings back a lot of sort of my worst memories, and I can't deal with it. So there are a few movies I like that have jump scares in them, and it's because I've managed to barely overcome the jump scare because the rest of the movie was so good. But it's really hard because there's stuff that I would love to watch that sounds really good that I never do because I'm worried about the jump scares. So I do really like psychological horror in theory. Like I like the idea of sort of confronting really disturbing ideas and imagining, what a person would do or could do in the face of true horror. And so like for instance, I really want to watch, for instance, Color Out of Space. I love Lovecraftian horror, but I'm so terrified that that's going to be just full of jump scares and I'm not going to be able to deal with it. And so it's just this weird conflict in my head. It drives me crazy. But yeah, Jedi Cytric says that it actually feels like, the more like psychological horror, where it's more about, dread and feelings of discomfort and worry and not knowing what to do in the face of something that's overwhelming and terrifying. Like that kind of horror is actually harder to pull off well than cheap jump scares. And so cheap jump scares, I should say, are also hard to pull off. Doing them really, really effectively does take a lot of cinematic skill, but they don't take as much storytelling skill. It's almost like doing a jump scare is a technical achievement, and doing psychological horror is a narrative achievement. And they take completely different skills. And so somebody can be really good at one and really bad at the other. I definitely. The thing that I enjoy experiencing is the more narrative side. So there we go. So should I don't want to just walk into that blackness. Apparently I have to. No. Nope.
They really are joking.
That thing doesn't actually create light. It doesn't actually light the scene. It doesn't light the world.
We're going to find you.
I don't know what I'm doing. Ah!
Why am I such a coward?
This is scary. This is scary.
They are my friends.
I'm glad I'm playing this in the morning instead of at night. Okay. But no jump scares. Nothing's jumping out at me. I'm so happy right now.
And then we're gonna kill you.
Man, imagine being a little boy believing that your bullies want to kill you. Because when somebody says, I'm going to kill you, even if logically you don't think they're going to, you can never be 100% about it. And just, and you've got this thing living in your head telling you someone might want to kill me.
It can't be true. How did I miss this? I knew he wasn't happy at school, but
I'll try not to cry anymore. It isn't really that bad, right? I'm so uncool. Maybe I deserve it.
Sonny! I had no idea. Why didn't you tell me?
Oh, it does look sad.
Sonny.
That is a very dense tear. Oh.
Wait! We're gonna kill you. This is all their fault. They made you like this. I won't leave you alone again. I'll help you fight back.
Okay, so it looks like he's diluted the sludge. It might be back to normal water.
Okay. Swim with me, and you can let it all out.
No, leave me alone. I need to reach Sonny.
You can't avoid me forever. Wherever you go, I'll be waiting.
Nope. These waves drive me nuts. Sometimes you're on dry ground and sometimes you are not, and you don't have a lot of control over which. So I think that this Leviathan kind of represents me, my self-doubts, my self-hatred. And the Raven is my brother. I wonder what other monsters I'm going to have in my life. There are collectibles in this game, which does make me want to sort of get off the beaten path. See if there's extras that I can find. Interesting. So the seagulls are not just a collectible, they kind of reveal some of the level ahead of me. That's interesting. So where is the monster? There it is. Okay, you get away. Go around the corner. All right, now I'll jump in the water and get out again. So again, this is just like the bullies were a monster that I could defeat, but not by directly engaging with them. Similarly, I just have to avoid this Leviathan. I can't directly fight it. they give me the tools I need to see where it is at all times and get around it. So I don't know if I can cross this gap without getting caught. Fadope says, it's such a deep and sad game. Who had the idea to make a game out of it? I think it's very interesting, but I would never have thought someone would make such a game. See, that's why I'm so glad to live in this era of game development, because independent games are so viable. I mean, you can get, you know, an engine off the shelf that allows you to do a lot of really powerful things. You know, and then there's a market out there, you know, on Steam, on itch, you know, and even the big publishers, you know, people like, you know, like Microsoft is always looking for, you know, and Sony too are always looking for indie games to sort of beef up their catalog on their consoles. Like, there's this world where, you know, people can make crazy weird games that try things that other games typically don't try, and do things other games typically don't do, and there's a market for them. You know, it's like you can't spend, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars making a game like this. It's not going to make that back, but you don't need to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to make a game this good. You know, you can spend an appropriate amount that you can earn back. And so I don't know if this team has successfully, you know, earned back the money that they spent to build this. Oh, I went under the platform instead of onto it. Well, that was unfortunate. Luckily, looks like I don't go back very far, so that's nice. Game is not very punishing. Okay, so maybe I need to wait till the Leviathan gets a little bit further away. And then I need to be more careful about how I get up onto this thing. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's like just jumping into the water sent me underneath the platform. That's kind of rough. Okay, it looks like the Leviathan is... It might have a different path now that I'm out in the middle of the ocean. Can I get to the dumpster? Please go down the alley. No. Not right next to me, thank you. Okay. Ba-bum. Oh! Oh, wow. It nearly knocked me off my platform. That would have been really bad, but luckily it didn't knock me off near its mouth. So that's good. So Jedi Psychics, right before I got eaten, was like, have you found out yet what happens when the monster gets you? No, I had not yet until that moment. But that death was pretty exciting. That worked really well. Oh, hi, Dan31. Thanks for joining me. I have missed you, Dan31. You used to be around all the time when I was streaming on lunch break. And once I switched to midnight, that did not line up with your schedule nearly as well. Because midnight for me is what you're on the East Coast, right? So midnight for me was like 3 in the morning for you. Probably the worst possible time to stream if I wanted you to be able to join me. Okay, going away from me. Oh. Nope. Ah! So I like how it's not just about speed. It's not just about racing. If it was just about racing, it would be boring because your character moves at the same rate all the time. That's just not very fun. But it's actually about timing. It's about watching the enemy, and I decide how much time I have to get from here to there. And I'm trying to watch enemy and strategize, like, when have they moved far enough away from me that I can make the next gap? And it's hard to be sure. And I need to get up on this. No! Sorry. The problem there was I changed my mind at the last second about where I was going. I thought I was headed for the gap, but then I realized that ramp was closer, and I thought that ramp might... Oh no, I went back this far. Dang it. I was hoping that because there was a lamp on that platform that would be as far back as I'd go. Okay, well, at least the hardest one is actually first. Okay, good. Anyway, yeah, so at the last minute I was like, ooh, that ramp is closer. I should go for the ramp. Maybe they mean for me to go for the ramp. And that was a bad decision because changing my mind at the last second, I think, is what led me to getting caught. Fadope said they just bought this game. Awesome! Glad to hear it. Because I feel like, not a lot of people watched the first video that I did of this game, which made me think that Oh, interesting. It doesn't actually bump the platforms. It made me think that maybe there's just not a lot of knowledge about this game out there, maybe not as much interest, because a lot of the games that I play where, like, if the game is particularly new or has garnered a lot of interest, like, I don't have a lot of viewers, but my viewers will sometimes be in the, high 2 digits, maybe even the 3 digits if a game is particularly interesting to folks. This one stayed down at just a couple of dozen. And so it makes me worry that, I don't know if this team got the recognition that they deserved for making this game. I don't know if people actually went out there and bought it. And that will make me sad if that's true. So I think right now they're on EA Play, which is also on Game Pass. And so so I think people can now get it without an upfront financial commitment, which is good. Sometimes a game like this, the best thing for it is oftentimes to be available on a service like Game Pass, because people are often interested in games like this but aren't really willing to spend money just on this game, because indie games, they can be a little bit of a crapshoot. You don't always know if a particular indie game is going to fulfill its potential. It's very easy and very common for them to be a little disappointing, because they've got a small number of people. Sometimes they're made by people who have never made a game before, and you can't always be sure that it's going to be a great experience. And so if you've got limited funds, whatever, you're making careful financial decisions, sometimes you don't want to spend money just on a game like this. But if you are already subscribing to a service where you have access to a lot of games you definitely like, and and those other games you're going to love, those are the reason you're paying for the service. And so you spent the money on the things that are a sure thing, and now you get a bunch of other games that come along with that. Like, why not just try out a few more? And then that indie game will get recognition from the publisher, from the people who are running the service, and a lot of times that will result not just in financial upside for the team that made the game, but also recognition of their skill and their quality, and maybe greater success for their next game. So there's a lot of good that can happen there. So I'm glad they're on EA Play. I'm glad that EA Play is on Game Pass. I'm hoping that means that these guys get more recognition for what they've done, because this game is so cool, and it's just, especially for an indie game this small in scope, it just feels especially well done. It's very slick. Okay, so I'm assuming Leviathan cannot come
I could miss a boat so much.
into the light. Chapter 4, Don't Give Up on Me. So right now, I don't actually know where I'm headed, but since we just hit a chapter break, this is probably a good time to wrap things up. But I really love this game. There's a lot of games that I play where I'm like, oh, that's an interesting idea for an indie game. Cool. I'll play the first couple of chapters and then whatever, I'll move on. This one, it's so well done, and because each chapter has kind of surprised me with something new and innovative and cool, it makes me want to keep going forward. And that's actually a really good idea, when you're making a game like this. Like, front load a lot of new ideas and a lot of new shifts as you're going, so that people realize, I should actually play this all the way through. If you take too much time before you introduce new stuff, it's easy for them to think, oh, the game is just going to be this forever. And so they'll be like, okay, I've seen this and I'll move on. But because each chapter in this game so far has introduced new concepts that fascinate me, that feel like things I haven't done in other games, it makes me want to find out what else they have in store. So that's really cool. Anyway, so I should wrap this up, and you can subscribe, and you can watch other videos, and you can do all kinds of things. I might stick around just a little bit longer on the stream, but I think this video is over.